Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to do this lip sync animation in Adobe Animate.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over. I was like, really? Of all the places to run? I stood up, dusted myself off, and thought, no big deal. Stay calm. But then, the same squirrel came back with an acorn and it dropped it right on my head. I couldn't believe it. But instead of getting mad, I just shrugged, thought, well, at least I'm part of the food chain.
So I'll be linking this Illustrator file down in the description. So go ahead and download it so we can do this tutorial together. We have the artboard, which is 1920 by 1080. And we have all of the different layers. We have the shadow, the pose, the eyes, and then we have all the different mouth shapes. We have smile, happy, amazed, bored, hungry, angry, scream, sad, and we have different versions of sad just to give us more options. And then we have the lip sync visemes. We have A, D, E, F, L, M, O, and A use the same lip sync shape. We have R, S, and U. So before we import into Adobe Animate, we want to make sure all of them are visible and then on their own separate layers, and we need to save it. And here we have our script. You can write any story you would like, incorporating different emotions between happiness and sadness. You can use ChatGPT to help you write a story. And let's copy it and go to a text-to-speech website. You can use this website right here. I will link it down below. It has different options. This is Amber.
Powered by machine learning, these voices are clear, confident, and
Anna.
Mom, can I please go to the park with my friends?
Okay, Anna, sounds good. Let's hear it.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day.
Okay, let's download it. And you can also use CapCut, which has very nice text-to-speech features. Click text, and let's drag it into the timeline. Let's paste our text in the box right here. The text, the video doesn't matter, we just want the sound. So let's click text to speech right here. We have so many different options. One of the voices I liked earlier was Elfie. So let's hear Elfie right here. And you can also do the same thing with your phone in the CapCut app.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day.
Okay, I feel like that matches our mushroom's personality.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere.
Okay, now let's set the end of the range. Go to the last frame, click O. Go to the first frame and click I for in and out. So it only render this area. Click export. Name it anything you like. choose where you would like to save it. I would like to save it here. Then the video settings don't matter, we just want the audio, so make sure the audio is enabled and the format is WAV. And let's click export. If you would like to record your own voice, I've recorded this voice memo in my phone, and I just click and drag it on this website, podcast.adobe.com/enhance, which I will leave a link down below. And it will enhance your audio. It's free, you don't need to pay anything, you just need to sign up. Let's hear it without the enhance. Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So I had a wild day and I was just chilling
when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over.
Huge difference.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom.
So I had a wild day and I was just chilling
when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over.
Okay, let's download it. And what I like, it already, when you download it, the format will already be .wav. So make sure the enhanced feature is enabled and you'll see it's a .wav file. So we don't need to convert it, and let's save it. Okay, now let's go to Premiere Pro to edit our voice. Create a new project. Go to your WAV file and drag it into the timeline. So we're gonna split the audio into two different tracks. The first track will be happy emotions and the second track will be sad emotions. So I'll speed through, but all you need to do is just cut using the razor tool and just drag the sad emotions down while keeping the same position. So let's hear it.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over. I was like, really? Of all the places to run? I stood up, dusted myself off, and thought, no big deal. Stay calm. But then, the same squirrel came back with an acorn, and it dropped it right on my head. I couldn't believe it. But instead of getting mad, I just shrugged, thought, well, at least I'm part of the food chain.
Okay, now once you have two tracks, we want to export each of them separately. So let's solo the first track by clicking the S. Then go to File, Export, and Export Media. Make sure the format is set to waveform audio. Let's name it to Mush Voice Happy. Click Save and Export. Let's do the same thing for the second track. So let's solo the second track by pressing the S button. Then go to File, Export, Export Media. Let's rename it to Mush Voice Sad. Save and export. Okay, now let's go into Adobe Animate. Let's create a full HD project. Create. Now let's import our Illustrator layers into Adobe Animate. Click File, Import, and import the stage. Choose your AI file, and you don't need to change anything in these settings. Just click Import. Now we get all of our Illustrator files into Adobe Animate. We have the shadow, the bows, the eyes, and all of the mouths. So select all of the mouth layer, select the bottom one, hold shift and click the top one. Then right click on the frames and do cut frames. Now you can just delete these layers. We're gonna put them in a new symbol. So go to insert, new symbol, and let's name it mouse symbol. Press OK. Now let's paste our frames in here, right click and paste frames. Then what we need to do is just put each mouth layer in its own separate time frame. So just click first and drag, click the keyframe and drag. Okay, now we have all of our mouth shapes in different time frames. Click the back button to go back to scene 1. Now let's create a layer for the mouths. So let's call it mouths and go to library and drag our mouth symbol anywhere in the frame. Hold Control and mouse wheel to zoom in, and let's just position it where we see fit. Let's create another layer for the voice audio. So let's call it voice. Actually, voice happy, and another one that is called voice sad, just so we can have more variations and make our animation more realistic. Then let's go to the last frame we can go to, so we have enough room for our sound file. Go to the 500 frame, click and insert frame. Let's even go further. Frame 1000, click, and make sure you click the insert frame button, not keyframe. Let's even go further, maybe 1200, click and then insert frame, so we have more space for our audio file. Now make sure you go to the first frame before you drop in the sound audio. Make sure you own the first frame and then click and drag your wave file, the happy Mush voice, into the frame. Let's see. Okay, that fits perfectly. It doesn't get cut out. Let's go to the sad voice and insert frame. So just click and insert frame. Let's do the same thing for the other layers. Click and drag and insert frames. Make sure you're again on the first frame and drag in the sad voice. Make sure the actual layer is selected. Okay, so now we have our voice sad layer and voice happy layer. Before we lip sync, let's duplicate our mouths layer. Let's call the first one mouths happy, duplicate, and let's call the second one mouths sad. And let's order them so they're along with their voices. Okay, so now we have 4 different layers. Let's click on the mouths happy layer, go to properties, object, and first you need to select the play single frame button and click lip syncing. Now you're just gonna assign each frame to its designated area, so the sound will be frame 13, the D will be frame 14, E will be 15, F will be 16, L will be 17, M will be 18, O will be frame 19, R will be frame 20, S will be frame 21, and O will be the same thing as O, so frame 19, and finally W will be the last frame. And make sure you have the correct voice layer selected, so let's select voice happy, click done.
Hey, I'm
Okay, let's hide the mouse sad layer.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom.
Okay, that sounds good. If you can't hear any audio, click on your voice layer, then go to Properties, Frame, and in Effects, choose Stream. Okay, Sync, choose Stream. Then go to File, Publish Settings, and choose Raw for the audio stream, and Raw again for the audio event. Click OK, and that's it.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom.
Okay, you should be able to hear the audio now. Now let's do the mouse sad lip syncing. Go to Properties, Object, choose Play Single Frame, and then click Lip Syncing. So we're just gonna change 4 frames. So in neutral, choose a sad mouth. In M, choose a sad mouth 2. In A, choose a sad version. And then maybe in D, choose this frame. Okay, so we only changed 4 frames, but it will make a difference. So choose the correct voice layer, voice sad. Then click done. So before we look at our lip syncing, I want you to go into the mouse symbol. So double click on the mouse layer, and let's add a blank keyframe at the end, just an empty keyframe. So new layer, and then click insert keyframe and drag it to the end in its own time frame. Let's go back to scene 1. And notice how it's overlapping with each other. So we want to click on the neutral frame in the beginning. Go to Properties, Object, Frame Picker, and choose the blank frame instead of hiding the layer.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocked.
Okay, so go underneath the beginning of the mouse sad layer and insert a blank mouth shape. Let's see, let's look for another overlap. So right here,
Thought,
so let's insert a blank mouth shape in here. So if you don't understand, Basically, everything to the right will be hidden and everything to the left will be shown until the next frame, so that the happy and sad lip syncs mouths are not overlapping. Let's keep going and find another overlap. I see an overlap in here. So click on our keyframe and click the blank frame for the mouths. Let's keep going. So here's another overlap. So click above the first sound and click the blank frame. And that's it, we're done. Let's play it from the beginning to see how it sounds like.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over. I was like, really? Of all the places to run? I stood up, dusted myself off, and thought, no big deal. Stay calm. But then, the same squirrel came back with an acorn, and it dropped it right on my head. I couldn't believe it. But instead of getting mad, I just shrugged. Thought, well, at least I'm part of the food chain.
Okay, that looks good. Let's add a background maybe. Click the rectangle tool, and before you draw, make sure you select a color first. And let's maybe choose gray. Make sure you're on the first frame before you draw anything. So just draw anything. Anything outside of the box will not be rendered, so don't worry if it's not aligning probably. Let's rename the layer to background. And drag it to the bottom. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's export it. So file, export, and then export video media. So make sure you know what your last frame is. So mine is 1180. Let's do H.264. And the preset you can either do 4K. If your computer can't handle 4K, do adaptive high bitrate. Let's choose where we would like to save it. Let's name it Mushroom Lip Sync. And let's export it. Then it will open up Adobe Media Encoder. Then you will see the queue is ready. So all you need to do is click the Start Queue button. Click on it and then your video should be rendered. You can go take a shower, eat dinner, drink some coffee, and then come back and your video should be finished. Let's have a look at it.
Hey, I'm Mush, your friendly mushroom. So, I had a wild day. I was just chilling when out of nowhere, this squirrel zooms past and knocks me over. I was like, Really, of all the places to run. I stood up, dusted myself off, and thought, no big deal. Stay calm. But then, the same squirrel came back with an acorn, and it dropped it right on my head. I couldn't believe it. But instead of getting mad, I just shrugged. Thought, well, at least I'm